Grief is a personal opportunity and, if dealt with directly, evolves into a hard-won blessing. Grief is a chance to visit with somebody at exactly the time he or she leaves you. Grief is a continued relationship with the dead that can nurture you rather than destroy you. This book is not about theology or clinical therapy in the matter of bereavement, although both play major roles for a lot of people when it comes to recovery from loss and death. Rather, this book is about helping people cross the bridge of grief to the path of peace. It does so less with religious sanctimony and more with real stories of people who have died well and left behind wiser survivors. Throughout these pages, I'll not only share about learning how to live with loss, but also the hope and promise found on the other side of the existence we know. This book is based on my decades of comforting both the dying and their survivors and contains a simple plea. However you do it, you must grieve. After all, grief and grieving are part of the human condition. If you put it off or avoid it altogether, you may suffer a delayed depression or a paralyzing melancholy as you attempt to return to your everyday activities. I've seen it happen too many times. It darkens your spirit and will threaten or cripple your ability to live, work, and play. That's not what your loved one wanted to happen to you. Let's not give more away to death than it has already taken. In the spring of 2017, Britain's Prince Harry, one of the two surviving sons of Princess Diana, spoke publicly about mental health issues he suffered after deferring his grief. Harry declared he experienced total chaos and realized he was in need of professional help and intervention after some 20 years of shutting off his emotions and anguish. Diana died in August of 1997 in an automobile accident in Paris. Harry stated, quote, "My way of dealing with it was sticking my head into the sand, refusing to ever think about my mom. Because why would that help? And then I started to have a few conversations, and actually all of a sudden, all of this grief that I have never processed started to come to the forefront, and I was like, there is actually a lot of stuff here that I need to deal with." Unquote. The human body and soul were designed to heal. We recuperate from many illnesses, and we mend from broken bones. But what greater anguish is there than a heart broken by grief? I once put off a certain grief for months, and then found myself crashing into the hole of a biological and situational depression that required therapies, medications, acupuncture, endless support from friends, and my own will to live in order to recover. The body-soul is a holistic essence, and it does not compromise with us when we try to deceive it about an embedded and unresolved bereavement. When the depression consumed me, my life hurt day and night. Getting through the performance of my professional duties and even social experiences all felt like an out-of-body experience. I slipped into a dark dance with despair. Grief is not a distraction. It is a provisional emotional melanoma that settles into our bodies and literally disrupts the neurons of our brains. I have learned, and I have witnessed, that when we lean into the grief and embrace its pain, it can become part of the cure, and it will develop into a blessing. When we submit to it, which requires courage and endurance, it will build an open passageway between our beloved and us for all times. But this can only happen if we do not circumvent the grieving, or defer it, or pretend it is negotiable or passable. Only when we accede to it does it, in time, build a bridge that connects heaven to earth.